Good day, ladies and gents. Despite me being a huge fan of RPGs, there's this one series that I just can't afford of looking into. And it's a particular series known as Dragon Quest. I don't know as to why, but is it because it's another Square Enix game that is already known for its many RPGs? Is it because that the franchise is from the same developers behind Final Fantasy, which had so many games already? Is it because that the art style of these games reminded me of Dragon Ball that I left behind for a while? Perhaps the latter part is the most likely reason, but hey, as someone who is just starting doing these kinds of reviews, I think now is the better time to broaden my gaming horizons. And thus, I will start my Dragon Quest journey with Dragon Quest Tact. Funny, I know. Developed and published by Square Enix and first released in July 16, 2020, Dragon Quest Tact is a strategy RPG which may look to be simple at first, but behind the cutesy and iconic art style lies a fearsome beast that will show you no mercy. In fact, it reminded me of Fire Emblem Heroes in terms of overall gameplay and character progression. Speaking of, the game, while easy to pick up and play, can be a super grindy affair. As expected in a lot of Square Enix mobile titles, players are encouraged to gather resources to power up your characters, in which then you pit them against different levels and stages of increasing difficulty to advance. I am shocked as to how much levels this game has. It has your typical story mode where you are pitted against a variety of enemies, rather monsters, as well as recruiting them along the way, event quests, which are limited time stages where you gather unique equipment and characters, the battle roads, which are essentially stages where specific characters are needed to progress, and so much more. Needless to say, I'm actually impressed with the decent difficulty curve this game has. However, this can also be a hassle for those who are just starting the game, myself included. Despite obtaining different privileges to obtain characters early on, there's a lot of stuff happening that you may end up getting lost, but it's natural for a lot of games like this, and you can definitely get the hang of it right away, since that the game is easy to understand and you may end up having a powerful character or two with enough understanding of the game's mechanics, which, like I've said, very easy to understand. As of the writing of this script, the War of the Visions crossover is currently happening in Dragon Quest Tact, which features limited time characters and weapons. Once you miss them, it has a very high chance that it may never go back. So if you're the kind of person that will love to collect stuff, as well as fans of games of other IPs, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of this, as well as similar looking events in the future. Or don't. Well, you do you. There are some events that you can try and revisit for reminiscence though, which offers a variety of past events that you can, well, try and reminisce, as what the name implies. And unfortunately, most of them are Dragon Quest related, so, well, it really is up to you. Speaking of characters, this is a gacha game, meaning getting some characters require you to pull on gacha banners with gems, which is a mediocre chance of getting some powerful units that you may or may not want. Also, pulling for characters is also highly encouraged, since portions of their power are locked behind duplicates. Yeah, and you know how I feel about those games, or rather, these kinds of features, especially when there's a multiplayer aspect associated to that certain game. Oh wait, it has PvP? No! But it is pretty much expected in a game where so much grinding is involved. Is it? If you are the more competitive kind of person, however, then sure, go ahead. Pit your powerful units against those of other players. Otherwise, just focus on the PvE side of things, since there's a lot to do there. The story is your standard, you are the chosen one to save the world kind of thing, which is a standard plot in a lot of Dragon Quest games, let alone most RPGs in existence. It's okay, but pretty formulaic. Another good thing about this game is the characters. If you're a massive Dragon Quest fan that looks forward to meet iconic faces like Erdrick, Slime, Sorrow, and many others while not needing to spend your time and money on a console of a specific game that you want, then here you go. I still need to pull for them though, and most of them aren't even available all the time. So, there's that. Wait, that's not entirely good thing at all. However, if there's one thing I really don't entirely digging into is the art style. The art style for the game, for most Dragon Quest games, is made by Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball and Chrono Trigger fame, among other works. I am not really a big fan of the art style since I'm mostly associated with Dragon Ball than anything else. And maybe this is the main reason as to why I never picked up a DQ game before. Well, until now that is. But I can make a total exception to this game since most of the playable characters here are the monsters, and it's the game's main selling point, with the slime, the series' mascot, being one of the main characters of the main story. Sure, there are those iconic heroes that you can pick up and recruit, but like I said, I'm not really into them since, art style. But hey, if you like Toriyama-san's artwork, then that's no problem. It's his art that made the game become what it stands today, after all. The game also has a guild system. That exists here for some reason. Music goes without saying. It has been composed by the late Koichi Sugiyama and his affiliates, which had a long-standing history with the franchise. It's whimsical and pleasing to the ears. Enough said. So what are my overall thoughts about Dragon Quest Tact? If you are curious as to what makes the franchise so great, then I highly recommend starting here, especially if you want a game that really has an engrossing amount of things to do, and if you're a fan of collectathons, which are all the rage nowadays. And yeah, especially if you're a Dragon Quest fan, you really should pick this game up. However, I can understand that not everyone will be pleased with the art style, and I know some people that are not into Sugiyama-san due to his particular beliefs in certain things, which is another story in itself. Nonetheless, this game is great, and it has the potential to become a great mobile game for the ages. Let me know your thoughts on this video, and feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content. Have a happy new year, everyone, and I will see you all, ladies and gents, next time. Bye!